morning. We are headed to a Cars and Coffee meet. Cold starts are allowed on this thing. Anyways, we're heading to a Cars and Coffee meet. So we'll film some of that and then we're gonna go work on the Forester. Already got a line to get in. How many people. It just keeps going. Man, we just got so many people coming in. We got a Slam Miata. Woo! Alright guys, we hung out at the meet for a minute, hung out with some friends, talked to a lot of you guys actually that wanted to come say hi and see the S14, but now we got to make a parts auto store run and to O'Reilly's, and then we'll be heading over to work on the Forester. And then, hold on, I gotta race this Audi, I guess. In this episode, we're gonna start to work on the pilot bearing, also known as the throwout bearing, and also the blast plates on the trans. My buddy Chandler that you've seen in the last couple of videos is coming to help me with all of this. The reason that we're going to start on the pilot bearing though is because we have it right here on the front of the transmission, super easy to get. It looks like you just pull a couple of these clips out, you slide it off, slide the new one on, good to go. Only issue I'm afraid of us having is the fact that I bought a WRX throwout bearing and clutch assembly, and I'm not sure how well that's going to work on the Impreza Forester transmission. The transmissions really aren't different. They have the same internals as the WRXs, just like the clutch fork's a little bit different. I think the throwout bearing's a little bit different, but I think if we have the whole combination of throwout bearing and clutch from like the same cars, like from a WRX, I think it would work. Well, this could definitely be an issue. I'm not sure where the new throwout bearing I bought is. Ooh, speak of the devil, we got Chandler pulling up right now. I also just remembered where I left the throwout bearing. It's in, pretty sure it's in this FedEx bag.
Clamp your hand right onto that.
You do it. No, my turn. Think it'll shock me with my rings?
Yeah.
Woo! Woo!
Would you agree?
That's the old throwout bearing. She loose. This thing's loose. Hopefully the WRX one fits on this. It looks different.
I mean, they're about the same size, right?
About the same size. I'm just hoping that because I'm using a WRX clutch and flywheel that this will mate too, because this is a WRX throwout bearing. Oh. That's looking good. That looks so much better than when I did it. I'm surprised how easy it is to change a throwout bearing. I mean, this just slides on and then you clip in. I had, see like on the sides right here?
Yeah.
It just clipped into the sides, and it has those, but like further forward. All right, so we're taking a break from doing the throwout bearing because I might have bought the wrong one. My theory was an 07 WRX throwout bearing with an 07 WRX clutch pack would work together, but this is, the clutch fork is different. So pause on that. We're gonna next work on the blast plates. Chandler he rounded some of this all off. Looks way better than when I did it. We just got the front half of the exhaust off, so That's gonna free up for us to work on the trans, getting the blast plates on. Okay, so now that we have the exhaust free to work on the trans blast plates, Chandler's watching a video on how to do this because we don't know, there's no instructions, so we don't know what bolts to take out, but I'm gonna explain to you how this works. You have these two plates and think of your transmission going down the middle. You're gonna take out, I think we take out some existing bolts in the trans, and then you put the plates around the trans, and it comes with this hardware, and you use this hardware, this new hardware through the trans and bolt these on the outside of the trans, and it braces the trans from flexing, making you to have more power safely, because the problem with Subaru 5-speeds is I'll show you. Split down the middle. I don't know if you can tell back there. You can see this line long ways. So under high torque, they twist, and then it ruins the tolerances in the gears, and that's how you shatter gears. This keeps it from flexing, so the tolerances don't get ruined. Therefore, it's safer for more torque, stuff like that. That's why I can use a stock Forester 5-speed with the swap. Also, stock Forester 5-speeds come with WRX internals. Okay, Chandler, explain.
Okay, so I'm saying to move this bracket and that, which would make sense.
I already have this one unbolted, so we can just push this out of the way.
I think this stays because that's the bracket's gonna go around that.
Okay.
Right. So the back end's gonna connect to there, and then I think the bottom of the bracket mounts down here.
That one, the one right below it, and then you come up forward, and I think it's those two.
Yeah.
The bolts are so long, you can see there it's hitting the trans tunnel. Thank you too. Oh, it's Lifeline.
Yeah,
hopefully they're okay. Actually take off the trans mounts, the trans braces back there. So there was 4 in the back and then 2 in the middle, and we're now hoping that if I lower this jack.
Yeah, it already gave me a lot of room. Okay.
Enough?
Yeah, let's see. Go ahead.
Free now.
Give that. Let's see. Oh, a little bit more. Saw the trans lower, but it didn't give us any room on that bolt. Hey, man.
Let's get that Sawzall in the trans tunnel, man.
Well, this is day 2 of trying to get the blast plates on the trans. We're still stuck on that one bolt that is getting hit on the trans tunnel. Sorry for my shadow, the sun's right behind me, but I think what we're actually gonna do is we actually bent the original one that went through there. So I think we're actually gonna bend a little bit of the new one. That way we can get it to slide in, and then we'll bend it back up straight and then put everything on. Just like that. I barely bent it. And then I grabbed the trans and pulled it up and twisted it this way, slid it halfway in, grabbed the hammer, just tapped it back straight, went all the way through. Structural integrity is going to be just fine, and we still have more thick bolts that go in there as well. I'm an idiot. I left this freaking clamp or this thing behind there. I can't get it out. All right, there we go. I got the plug out. All right, everything's all tightened back up. Blast plates are on. That's done. Now I still have to put all of the trans mounts back on because the trans completely dropped. But that still means I can check something off. That was my best check mark yet. That's my best check mark I think I've ever done. Well, now we gotta like fab the exhaust, but we can't fab the exhaust until we have the engine in. So we have to wait for the engine, and we can't start putting the interior back together until we have the wiring harness back. So we're waiting for the wiring harness. So don't really have much else to do until we get those. But luckily we're getting the engine and the wiring harness back this week. I almost forgot to mention that we don't have to get a new throwout bearing, but we actually have to get a new clutch fork. I have to do that, so we'll have to figure that out as well. This thing is getting very close to being done, trust me. Got my buddy Jordan coming, you can hear him. I don't know if you can hear that on camera, but you can hear him driving. Oh, that thing's so freaking sexy. It airs out silently. Just want to let you guys know that we actually finished getting all of the transmission mounts back on. Everything's bolted up. I gotta still go through and torque them, but the transmission's all bolted up. Well, we're carrying this video into a day 3 because of 2 reasons. 1, I'm an idiot. And 2, there's a couple things that I need to do this week before we get the motor back that it's not enough to make a video, so we're just gonna add it into what we're doing. Okay, first, it's probably people already screaming in the comments. I was putting the throwout bearing in backwards. That's why it wasn't fitting. After further research, I noticed that the clutch forks in my Forester and the clutch forks in the newer WRXs look the exact same, and I found out it doesn't go on this way, it goes on this way. And also we're just gonna grab some random black paint up here or whatever color that I want to use and just spray the exposed metal on the tubs that we cut. I'm gonna use this Wrinkle Plus high temp because it's in the engine bay just to be safe. There's really no science to this. We just have hoses that can get anything in them moved away, and we're just gonna get real close, and all we're trying to do is just cover the exposed metal with the paint so it doesn't rust. So we'll just keep it really minimal and really close, that way we don't get it all over the place. Over here, as you can see, there's a little bit more that we'll have to get, but over here is really good. All right, we're gonna start with this side and just... All right, I'm gonna call that good. Just got some good coverage just on any exposed metal. And like I said, you're gonna have the washer fluid here, battery here, you're gonna have the intake coming over and sitting here, so you're not really gonna see any of that. Hopefully with all of that there as well, it'll keep a lot of the dust and everything from coming into the engine bay, hopefully keeping this as clean as possible. Definitely still need to power wash out the engine bay. I think one of the next things that we'll do, I don't know if I'll film it or not, but we're gonna put the car back on the ground and roll it out into the street and power wash all this off. That way we have a clean slate. Anyways, next we're gonna do the throwout bearing, which should just go on this way. Okay, so this turned out to be the throwout bearing from a 2002 WRX, which that's not gonna work because that clutch setup is completely different. This is actually technically the right throwout bearing, but this is from the eBay one, so we're not gonna use this one. And upon further review, this is the stock Forester throwout bearing that I pulled off of this trans, and guess what? This will work with the new clutch setup that I have. Look at this pressure plate. This makes perfect contact, right there. Perfect contact all the way around. Because these don't hold any torque or power, we're actually going to be ordering a brand new OEM stock Forester throwout bearing for this, and then we're gonna put that back on so it's just all stock everything. But I don't have one of those, so that's later. Last thing to do before we end this video out, we have a new billet pitch stop mount. Pitch stop mount on the Subarus go from the firewall to the transmission, and it's way better to have solid ones because these hold a lot of torque and it'll keep it from flexing. It's just so much better to have a solid pitch stop mount. And look how tiny that one is, and look how beefy this one is. Look at that side-by-side comparison. This is so much better. That's where we're gonna end this video. Huge shout out to my buddy Jordan for helping me come get all of the transmission mounts back on. And we're gonna be doing the throwout bearing later because I gotta go buy another throwout bearing now, and I gotta try and return the other one that I bought. The pitch stop mount's done. Now we gotta wait for the motor, guys. We are so much closer than you actually think.